So it looks like we have some fulfillment coming in. Something's coming in that's going to overflow your cup. And this feels like a new kind of thing that's coming in some ways. So tell us about this, Spirit. What's coming in that's gonna be fulfilling for who I'm talking to today? All right. So off the bat, I feel like you are coming into balance. And it's interesting because these cards kind of came out like this. So with Temperance, kind of in this challenge position. So you've been coming into this balance around creation energy and mindset energy. So it feels like you are working on getting your mind right is what I just heard, but like not living too much in this mind kind of state of being. So it feels like you're somebody who is a very deep thinker, you're intellectual, you're someone who tries to like see things and understand things maybe before you create or before you take a move. You're really just somebody who tries to understand all the possible outcomes of something before you actually move to this creation energy. And you're coming into balance with this in some ways. So it feels like you're recently energetically, there's been this purge going on or this clearing. And it feels like you are learning how to release like this need to know, this control about being able to predict the future, predict what's to come. And you're learning how to kind of let go of the need to know how, when, what, the exact steps, all of these things before you start something. And crows could be a significant sign for you. You may be seeing some blackbirds. And so usually blackbirds for me are an indicator that you're doing some subconscious restructuring, subconscious clearing. Subconscious belief systems are coming to the surface to be healed and removed and shifted in perspective. And so that feels like kind of what's coming into balance in some ways is the overthinking mind is kind of being taken under control. I'm hearing monkey mind. So I do think that you really used to use your mind a lot to kind of find safety, and in a way it was to survive, but it was how you like seek safety. So you were constantly seeking safety, and this is like what you're coming into balance with. And the Hierophant came in upside down. So because you're working on this balance, this is kind of where you were before coming into this balance and this clearing and release. And it feels like you were kind of stuck in these old belief systems or these old way of doing things, or this like kind of survival space is what I'm getting. Like, I feel like you grew up really in a survival or scarcity mindset, or a lot of people around you were kind of stuck in that mindset. And because that was your normal, you then took that on, and that's kind of been the way that you've been functioning and moving through your life for a pretty long time. And so having to release, having to let go of those things, having to remove those things has been kind of the challenge for you in some ways. And by coming into this balance, you are, and you have been, it looks like, been planting seeds for a while around this. So this does feel like something associated with a pentacle way of life. So this would be career, this would be your finances or your money. And underneath, there's the Six of Pentacles. So 5, 6, 7. So you may be seeing consecutive numbers. And what's happening here is that you are you've been planting these seeds and I feel like you've been trying to heal this mindset and trying to heal this way of thinking and needing to control and having to know all the outcomes for a while now. And you're starting to see the sprouts. You're starting to see the work that you've been putting in and how that is now showing up for you. And you will start receiving more equal give and take in regards to this. So you might be seeding. You've been seeding, and you might be seeing little sprouts, but soon you're going to see the big exchanges. So what I mean by that is like the exchanges that you've made. So you've put in the work, and soon you're going to start seeing the external kind of motion of that and showing of that. It does feel like you're getting glimpses of this at this point, but it doesn't feel like you've been able to see the bigger picture kind of way that this is actually going to shift your life and change your life. So I want to know more about that, Spirit. So tell me more about how this healing is going to change the life of this person. Oh, interesting. So, okay. It does feel like you've been putting in the work, you've been pushing forward, right? But also, this feels like more that you used to make kind of like impulsive decisions about things. And you used to kind of like run full force in some ways and try to like control the outcome or control what was going to happen. And instead of kind of just letting things happen the way they were supposed to, and you blocked off your ability to receive information associated with being able to shift. I'm seeing like somebody who is pushing so much forward to try to make things happen that they're missing the signs or they're missing the signals in regards to being able to notice like if there's something else showing up over here or there's another path forward. Like there's kind of like this energy where it was just like blinders for a long time, where you just like full-fledged push towards what you logically thought was the best, and you missed out on some of these other opportunities that were there as well, but they didn't fit into your logical understanding of how things were or your plan that you had in place. And so because they didn't fit into your plan, there was no time for you to be able to invest in those things or check into those things or see those things. And so this is kind of like what you're getting, you're trying to understand more. I do see that you are shifting in this. So there is like a death and rebirth happening associated with this. Now this is where it kind of takes a turn, which is interesting. We have the Knight of Cups here. And the Knight of Cups came out with the Queen of Swords. And the King of Swords was already on my table. And so this is actually, right, you're coming into balance. And you're coming into balance with your mind. And I feel like what's happening with this is that because you're coming into balance in your mind, you're starting to attract in someone else who is also your counterpart, a match to your energy, someone who is a true match to you. And this individual is also going through their own kind of transition at this point in time in regards to their own journey. And it's funny because I'm seeing two people who are kind of mirroring each other in this, where you're both going through your own individual journey around coming into balance within yourself. and getting the mind under control. And this is so that you can kind of be in the right place to be able to let this enter, if that makes sense. So this is attracting in someone who is like a true partner for you that really is going to match you. Match your freak is what I just heard. And they're also going through their own healing journey and doing their own work around some of these things. So it does feel like this was always meant to be, but there were certain things that needed to be in place or happen before this could happen. And what I'm hearing is that if this came in any earlier, you wouldn't have been able to see it for what it was. Like, it feels like there would have been like a self-sabotaging kind of energy with this if this had come in any sooner. So there was truly certain things that needed to be healed on both sides before you were able to choose each other, but also choose yourself to come into a healthy union, if that makes sense. So tell us more about this dynamic here. It does feel like there was some like emotional, oh, this is crazy. It does feel like there was some type of like emotional imbalance, and it could be you or them. I'm not really sure who it was with. But there was some type of emotional imbalance that was happening. So this card, I'm seeing it needed to be turned up, right? So there had to be some type of emotional reactivity or emotional intensity that needed to really get in control before this could come together. I do think that I'm talking to people who are very intuitive. It may be you or it may be them. I'm not really sure. But since this is mirroring energy, I think it's kind of both of you. And the other thing that kind of came out is the Emperor and the Empress. So I feel like this is saying that maybe this is somebody that you've already met. And when you met each other, you were kind of like broken mirrors. Like, you were very much King and Queen of Swords energy. And there was a certain amount of healing that needed to happen and a certain amount of like emotional reactivity that needed to occur. So this feels very significant around like, it feels like previously when you had met this person, maybe you weren't as emotionally stable, I guess, in some ways, or like you were very reactive, or you got overwhelmed really easily. And it feels like the time apart was needed for you to be able to get that under wraps or like get that under control. Confirmation. And so you really needed to kind of do your own work before this could come back into connection. And I'm noticing the moon over here. So I think this may come in by the next full moon cycle. It feels like a cycle is ending and another cycle is beginning. That's what I just heard. So there's the cycle that you were in with this person was imbalanced. And the new cycle that's beginning is going to be a more balanced cycle. And it kind of makes sense that this was mirrored energy and you're on like this pentacle journey, because what's coming through is that you you both kind of had to get something right when it came to like your career or your finances or your material world. Like, something didn't fit right before when you had met each other, and that needed to be reassessed and needed to kind of be corrected before this could come in. And like, the point being that it needed to happen before this could come in to like stay, to be maintained. It wouldn't have worked before. There was just too many things that were not in alignment, but it does feel like this is coming into alignment. And the Page of Wands is at the bottom of my deck with the Seven of Wands. So, you know, you've really started to get your spark back and like find joy with yourself and on your own. And that's part of what's bringing this in. And you've also learned how to take care of yourself. And I'm really noticing the solar plexus is what this usually is. And so there's definitely this energy of like you've built your confidence back and you like know who that you are. And because you've really started to build your energy back, know who you are, you're protecting yourself, you're taking care of yourself, you're loving on yourself. Like these are the things that is bringing this in. I do think that it's possible you may have had like a feeling that this has been coming for a little while. But I also think this is meant to come in to surprise you. So this is going to move slowly and this is going to move quietly, and it's meant to. And I think that you're actually in a place where you're going to be okay with this, because there's going to be this time that it's going to need to rebuild the trust that was not able to be built in the background, in the past, in the background. That was not able to be built. Interesting. Oh my gosh, you have all, this is really crazy. So not only are you going to match on a intellectual level, so like you're going to be able to have really deep conversations and match intellectually, you're also going to match on a emotional level. And so I was right, you guys are intuitive of some sort, intuitives of some sort. You're very tapped in, but you're also going to be able to like hold each other emotionally and be able to maintain that with each other. And we also have, right, the Emperor and Empress. So, I mean, this is power couple energy. This is life partner energy. This is like your equal. This is divine counterpart energy, if that's something that you personally believe in. It just feels like there was just a certain amount of rest that was needed, a certain amount of rest and rejuvenation, and also a shift in perspective that was needed to be able to bring this in. Like you needed to kind of move through some of these energies, it feels like, for this to truly come in and be able to stay. But you've definitely been putting the work in. And this is going to shake some things up, okay? And I don't think you can ever prepare for that, but shake things up in a really beautiful way. This is something you've been manifesting. And I mean, the cards, I mean, you can't, they're beautiful. So if this resonates for you, please leave 222 in my comments, or yes, because you're coming into balance, baby. And Chrissy agrees. And if you would like a private reading, please take a peek in my bio and you can find it there and all my services. I love you so much. Take care.